You! Get your hand out of your pants.
Please put your tray table up. Put the crack pipe down.
You're the least without sin person I know.
Errol, we are on the air right now.
Oh, I was digging for gold.
Wow! That's what's eating Gilbert Grape, my friends.
Well, listen, call me casual, but I love to take my time.
I don't know where your head ends and this weird turtleneck sweater begins.
Speaking of which, whatever happened to that porn star you were dating?
Oh my god, it's huge.
And now,
It's West.
by Midwest,
It's the week of Monday, April 28th, 2014. This is episode 61 of West by Midwest. My name is Chuck Ganchorre. I'm broadcasting live from Los Angeles, California.
My name is Aral Gribble. I'm broadcasting live from Lansing, Michigan. And we have our producer, Rob Hubbard, broadcasting from...
Chelsea, Michigan.
This is the NPR version of West by Midwest.
Yeah, this is the, smooth jazz West by Midwest. Folks, we're on Google Plus Hangouts recording live. If you like our Facebook for the link on Mondays... It's funny because that's what it says, and I'm like Ron Burgundy reading the thing. I'm like, "Hi, my name's Aral Gribble." Like, you could literally put anything on this document, Chuck, and I would read it. I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like the Facebook page. We put the link up on Mondays. You can hang out with us. You can put comments on our Q&A, and you can see the pretty face of all our guests.
That's right. And if you missed the live broadcast and recording, you can always go to iTunes, search West X Midwest in the search box, and you'll find our current episode as well as the past episodes where you can download those and stream them, listen to them. Love them.
The podcast is brought to you by Ed Graybo. Ed Graybo. Admire him, bring him here, feed him, fuck him, I don't care. Just don't put him on an Instagram for the world to have to see. Ed Graybo.
Ed Graybo. Although I'd rather see pictures of Ed Graybo on Instagram than people posting pictures of their lunch.
Ow.
Annoying. Friends, you want to stick around for our guest this week. We have filmmaker Danny Diaz on the show. He's here to talk about his World War II documentary.
Yeah, it's really classing up this show. I'm a little nervous, man.
Right.
It's like a legit topic, a legit guest. So
we have an adult.
We have an adult
on the show.
Which I've been surrounded by children all weekend. I just finished up How I Became a Pirate.
How You Became a Pirate. How was it?
At the City Theater in downtown Detroit, connected to Hockey Town. Yarr, it was great, mate.
It was a nice show, yeah.
I played Sharktooth the Pirate. And I had green teeth, and the kids loved it. I had a little kid run up to me with a picture she had drawn of us pirates.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Makes it all worthwhile, so then I can come on
That's
this
right.
podcast and drop as many F-bombs as possible. But also, you speaking of adults, my friend,
Speaking of children,
you're kind of a man-child. Chuck Ganchorre, folks, was almost not on this week's episode. He got into a little bit of trouble today.
Errol, why are we even talking about this? Yes.
If you're uncomfortable, we don't have to talk about it.
As Lynn said, can I have my privacy on this one, or no? Both Rob and Errol.
Why does this need to be private? Why does you...
It's embarrassing, my friend.
And yet, whenever we talk about my bowel movements, that's fair game.
Yeah, but that's straight comedy. This is just sad, okay,
This
ladies and
is
gentlemen?
comedy.
I neglected to pay my registration on my vehicle, and
Which
it
happens
lapsed.
all the time.
And due to that and some compiled unpaid parking tickets, my car was impounded today.
Oh. So, wait, how many tickets did you have?
There were 2 tickets to the sum of, I think, $300 after it was all
Oh
said.
my God, $300
Mm-hmm. And then
What
I
were you
hadn't...
looking for?
I didn't... and they were non-moving violations, so they were definitely either just like parking tickets that I just didn't pay. Yeah. And,
So they just accrued money.
Yeah,
over...
you know that old song and dance. It's like you don't pay it. It goes from $10 to $300. No big deal. Don't worry about it.
No worries. Just keep forgetting it. But here's the kicker: your registration. expired when?
August 2013.
August! Folks, today's April 28th. It's almost a year.
It's not almost a year, dude.
It's almost a year.
August.
Rob's, like, a pregnancy lasts longer than your forgetfulness.
My lapse in registration has gone longer than a pregnancy term.
Oh, God, it's awesome.
No, it's
So,
not
I'm sorry.
awesome.
Well, the thing is that shit's happened to me, man. You know this. This is why at one point I owed you money because you helped get my car out of impound because I had a DUI and they like impounded my car. Remember that?
Yeah, but the difference here, Aral, is that you learn from your mistakes. This
Right.
isn't like new for me. All right, this is like
No, this is true.
I do shit like this, and it just it's embarrassing.
You avoid conflict. Like, it's not even conflict. You just avoid doing things.
I avoid responsibility.
Responsibility. Yeah.
But yeah, for our listeners out there, please learn from my mistakes. Pay your parking tickets.
Make sure your
Make sure
registration.
your car is registered. That you get a proper smog check.
Oh, that's the thing. You guys got to do the smog check and everything.
Yeah, that's another like $50 that I gotta get a smog check.
So it's not just going online and like putting in your credit card.
No, it's nothing like back in Ohio when we would register our plates and stuff. That was like $25 on your birthday, like whatever. You could go in, you could send it in the mail or whatever. Here, registration is like $200 a year plus a smog check. Yeah, it's insanity.
Yeah, no, but still, my friend.
It's almost better to not have a card. No, I take that back. I'm gonna get my.
No,
card.
I did that. The 5 months I was out there, I was fucking public transit Aral.
No, that's not gonna fly
and
over
two
here.
homeless dudes. The buses were empty all the time because it was like, guess who rides the buses? Nobody.
Here's the worst thing about the whole situation, Aral, is that got up today. Today's my day off. I have the podcast and whatnot.
Oh, yeah.
Brand new meditation studio opened up in Brentwood.
Oh.
Kind of has the same model of SoulCycle or yoga classes where you pay $20 for a class or whatever, and you can sit through 30, 45 minutes to an hour of guided meditation.
Ooh.
And I opened
$20 for enlightenment. Okay.
Right. And so Kylie and I decided to go check it out, and it was complete heaven. It was wonderful.
Sure.
Until I get out and my car is being towed, and everything just went out the fucking window. All my mindfulness, all my breath work, all for naught.
I'm blaming that class.
You're blaming the meditation for getting my car towed?
You're sitting there, they're telling you to just let go of the past.
Like, just leave your credit card here, let go of any troubles.
Release any burdens you might have weighing you down.
Any responsibilities, whether it be from August 2013 to now. Don't worry about it.
Just let it all go.
All those letters.
What'd you say to the cops when you rolled up to the car?
I was like, don't take my car. I was like, is this Operation Repo? What's going on?
No, I thought you were like, you told me you were like, what took you guys so long?
Oh, that's what I should have said. I should have just went up and was like, what took you guys so long?
You guys about 9 months late on that one.
Anyway.
Speaking of being arrested, an Australian mistook the cockpit for the toilet and triggered a hijack scare on Friday.
What did he think that was, like a public restroom? And he was like, excuse me.
It was in the airport. You just go, or it's in the airplane. You just go the opposite way. I could see it happening.
Right, but did he think that this plane had urinals and there was another guy sitting there and another guy that looked like a, he didn't
bust in and use the fucking the guy's seat as a urinal. No,
but the pilot sitting in there. What plane have you ever gone into where the bathroom had someone inside of it? You know what I mean?
He didn't get in. He just knocked on the door. He's just banging the door to get in. They lock the cockpit door, my friend. There was this thing that happened called 9/11. Ever since then, they lock the cockpit door.
Look, my mindfulness doesn't think about the past.
I am living in the now,
I
my
don't
friend.
think about what's going to happen.
So his name was Matt Lockley. He told Bali police after his arrest he banged on what he thought was the toilet door for a last-minute bathroom break before the aircraft landed on the Indonesian holiday island of Bali. He's going to holiday, having a good time.
Vacation.
He wants to pee before he's done. Oh, my God. But the door was actually the cockpit door, and the pilot, Neil Thomas Cooper, responded by alerting Indonesian traffic controllers of a possible hijacking. Because all he knows is some crazy motherfuckers pounding on the door.
Like, who's in there? I need to take a shit.
Right, he's like, yo, get out, motherfucker, get out, I'm waiting. And they're like, oh my God, fucking hijacking. So crew members seized Lockley and they handcuffed him. Here's the thing, though. After taking blood samples from Lockley, police said the Australian had taken several painkillers.
Oh.
Including 4 Panadol and 2 Voltaren. Voltaren?
I don't know.
I don't even know what that is, man.
Voltron pills?
Voltron pills? Like, do you fucking transform into one of those cat robots? How do we not know? How have we not heard of these painkillers? That's what I want to know.
The Australians are dropping some heat, dude. They've
Some
got
heat, my friend. That's why you don't remember your shit.
What are you
fucking
Get out of here.
pills all day long.
No. What are you talking about, Carol?
Police initially had said that Lockley was drunk. And so
This is why we're here today, Harold. We have Danny Diaz because this is an intervention.
It's an intervention, Chuck. You don't pay your bills.
You don't pay your bills. You've been eating fucking Voltron pills all day long, Panadols. And it's gotten out of hand.
Chewing them like they're
Look,
baby
you're
aspirin.
You just lost your car.
It's time for you to stop, my friend.
Like, who's Danny Diaz?
He's an interventionist.
Why is
That's
he
it.
here? He's not a filmmaker. He's an interventionist.
Yeah. The thing is, I've done this, not in an airplane, but I've done this in a movie theater before, and I was not on painkillers. I was drunk.
You were banging on the office door to the movie theater?
Yeah. Like, I was during King Kong. I don't know if you remember this.
That's a long movie.
It is a long movie, and I had a lot to drink waiting in line for that movie. And it was like halfway through, and I was like, oh, fuck. And we were all the way up at the top, and I stumbled. Like, instead of going down where I know the bathrooms are, I went up and wandered into, like, the office spaces of the theater, almost went into, like, the projection room, and then finally found, like, and I was like, and somebody was like, hey, excuse me, can I help you? I was like, I have a fucking bathroom or something. They were like,
wow.
oh, right here. And it was an employee bathroom I ended up using.
You were that drunk that you couldn't even find the regular public restrooms.
No, I was fucking King Kong wandering around that room. It was awesome.
Crazy. Well, you could use a certain substance that is the secret to drinking alcohol and not getting drunk, my friend.
What's that?
Or you could have used it. You could.
Yeah, I don't drink anymore.
You're dry.
Because
of incidents like that.
Yeah. Had I known about this substance, I probably would still be wasting a lot of money on alcohol.
Well, it's nothing too crazy, but apparently there's a secret method to drinking alcohol without getting drunk. All you have to do is eat some yeast before you drink.
Really?
By lining your stomach with a teaspoon of yeast for every beer you plan to drink, you'll be able to drink all night without acting like a damn fool.
Oh. Yeast, like just like a packet of yeast.
Right, and the thing is that
That's
yeast is hard.
disgusting.
It is. It's hard. I've never had it, but it's got to be hard to digest.
Yeah.
What people have done is combined it with yogurt, and that makes it a little more palatable.
That's the same thing you do with painkillers.
Right, you kind of crush it up in your yogurt, get all fucked up, and then bang on the fucking cockpit door of a plane. Be like, let me use the bathroom.
So how does this shit work? How does it work?
What scientists found out was that the active dry yeast has an enzyme in it called alcohol dehydrogenases.
See, you don't pay your tickets. You don't
fucking
prep for your podcast.
prep for the podcast. You don't pay your fucking tickets.
Don't look up words that you don't know how to say.
Look up a word.
Oh, God damn it.
Roughly put ADH. We'll just say ADH.
Yeah, ADH sounds good.
is able to break alcohol molecules down to their constituent parts of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen, which is the same thing that happens when your body metabolizes alcohol in its liver.
Speaking of which, sorry. Something's metabolizing in my liver.
What they realize is if you also have that enzyme in your stomach when the alcohol first hits it, the ADH will begin breaking it down before it gets to your bloodstream and thus your brain.
Oh.
Now, one of the biggest...
You won't get drunk at all.
Yeah, I guess you...
I mean, isn't that like a waste of good alcohol?
That's the argument here, is that, the point of drinking is to...
Well, I mean, I remember when I got around the same time that my car was impounded, I had to go to like a alcohol awareness, abuse awareness class.
Ooh.
Yeah. Red flags, children. Red flags. And the lady was like, if you've ever drank to get drunk, you've abused alcohol. And every one of us in the class was like, well, why the fuck would you drink?
What else is there?
Would you drink
for it?
I don't. So okay, so you're saying don't drink. Got it. So yeah, because there's all those people who are like, oh, I'm a total lightweight. Like one drink and I'm done, and I was like, man, I wish I could be like you. I'd save so much money. Now they're giving the secret out so people can just waste more money and feel nothing.
Well, maybe it's for people like myself. Asians, a lot of Asians, when they drink, they get what's called an Asian glow.
They sure do.
Where they turn very, very red because eyes get all
bloodshot.
Eyes get all bloodshot. My face gets all flushed. It's because I lack a certain enzyme when it comes to drinking that causes, it's almost kind of like an allergy for me to drink, and that's why.
Oh, right.
And I wonder if I just rock some yeast, maybe a little, maybe some Chobani and some yeast, and just do it up. I could get wasted all night and not be all red-faced. Because that's, honestly, I don't mind being drunk or anything like that. There were times in college where I'd drink the neck of a 40 and I'd be drunk as hell.
Right, on the floor, fucking crying. Absolutely.
But I mainly don't drink nowadays because I just hate the fact that I seriously get beat red when I drink. And so I don't. So I might try this out. I might just rock some yeast.
Next time you fucking head out to the bar, just grab a little package of, what is that yeast called? Ready yeast or?
Yeast is gross, man.
Yeast is fucking gross.
Thinking about like
just chowing on a package of yeast.
Is like
it gets all bubbly in your mouth.
Yeast infection in my mouth. Like what's going on? Like, oh, don't worry about it. I'm gonna be able to get so fucking wasted tonight. Don't worry about it.
That's the other thing. That's how you can spot the rapist in the bar. The guy who's got the package of yeast. Like he's ready to party. A man becomes a math genius after getting kicked in the head repeatedly.
Why get shit like this happen to me?
I will take care of that for you, my friend. We'll see if it works.
We'll do field tests.
We'll do field tests. Rob, you down for that? We'll just kick Chuck repeatedly in the head.
Like maybe this will straighten you out, my friend.
So his name's Jason Padgett. I'm sorry, you interrupting our podcast? Wait, what?
That's the video we should make.
We should just make a video of that.
Yeah, instead of trying to do like a sketch video,
a
comedy sketch, we should just...
But then it would be like Asian guy still can't do math after getting kicked in the head repeatedly.
That would be awesome.
That's great.
It'll go on YouTube, it'll go viral.
So many hits.
So, get it? Hats? So Jason Padgett, 31-year-old father of one, was a college dropout, never had any interest in academic pursuits. Instead, he spent most of his time drinking, partying, and cliff diving and skydiving.
Mm-hmm.
He was like an adrenaline junkie. But this all changed, however, in 2002 when he'd been at a bar, he stepped outside, two men attacked him from behind, and they knocked him unconscious with a blow to the back of the head. Following a CT scan, he was released from the hospital the same night, but the next day, Padgett realized that something was different. He started to see and perceive shapes and movements in everyday objects and became obsessed with fractals and mathematics. As it transpired, Padgett is one of only 40 known people in the world to have acquired savant syndrome.
Whoa.
It's a condition in which trauma to the head results in the emergence of remarkable talents in math, art, or music. He says, I believe I am living proof that these powers lie dormant in all of us. If it could happen to me, it could happen to anyone.
just get kicked in the head.
Somebody grab me a baseball bat. I'm gonna make Chuck a genius.
That's crazy.
No, it's funny. They did an interview with him, and they were like walking down the street with him, and he was just like, the interviewer was like, so I see trees and clouds and stuff like that. What do you see? He's like, I see Fibonacci sequence and all of it.
I got that golden ratio right there, dude.
Right there,
You see
motherfucker.
That girl's ass, Fibonacci.
That shit's a divine fractal.
This guy had like reverse fucking Stephen Hawking syndrome, dude. He just like
Seriously.
got super smart. That's crazy.
Yeah, and now that's what he does. See, he said sometimes he wish he could turn it off, but the benefits far outweigh the downsides. Obviously.
Yeah, until we start fighting off fucking mutants, and then it's like he's like, oh shit, I gotta choose sides.
He knows what side he's on, man. He's fucking Xavier. All right. Fuck. I'm gonna seriously, Chuck, Rob. Will one of you try this? If it works, I'll do it. But you gotta try it first.
Days of Future Past.
Days of Future Past. You know, speaking of the future and the past and how you don't learn from your mistakes in the past, we should bring on our guest because his documentary. That's what I thought about as I was like doing my research today. I thought, you've got the shit going down in Ukraine, which is getting kind of scary, World War III style.
Yeah.
I think, how often do we think if we're too stupid to learn from our past, then we're bound to repeat it?
I am living proof of that, ladies and gentlemen.
So with that in mind, we have our guest, ladies and gentlemen, filmmaker from Colorado, Danny Diaz, on the show.
Woo! Yeah, how you guys doing?
What's up,
Good,
Danny?
man. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. I feel bad to be all serious now. You guys were pretty funny there for that first time.
Wow. You're doing us a favor, trust me.
It's all like a downer now. Like, oh, it's all sad. And
No.
The thing is, it's not. I have a feeling, I haven't seen the documentary, obviously, but I have a feeling it's pretty inspirational.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, even from the fact that we met all these guys, even the small crew from Colorado, and the film's not famous or anything in the whole country, but
Not yet.
Not yet, but I mean, but for us, meeting those guys was awesome, and we have great stories now forever. We spent 2 years with them at various reunions, and when most of the crew was there with me, they were all pretty young, like early 20s, and now they're in their mid-20s, and people are dying, and they can tell their kids now someday that I met these guys right at the end of their life, basically. So it's pretty cool. Mm-hmm.
So you mentioned reunions. It's actually called Lost Reunions, is the name of the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us a little bit about it.
So the film takes place in 2010, and what happened was we went to the last reunion ever in history for these PT boat veterans of World War II. The PT boat stands for a patrol torpedo boat, and those are the guys that fought alongside John F. Kennedy, and they fought the Japanese in the Pacific Ocean, and they kind of fought that part of the war. And what happens is after the war is over, the main guy who started the whole thing sent a Christmas card out to all his buddies, just saying hello and missed them all and asking how they were doing. And they had a Christmas dinner that year. And then over the next 46 years, this reunion kind of took place and kept compounding and getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And finally it got to like 1,000 people. And so that went on for 46 straight years. Then we ended up going to the last one ever. And that's why it's called, like the lost one is because all these stories would have been gone if no one recorded them this very last time, because they've been telling stories forever and ever, like half a century, So
Yeah. I think that's one of the biggest downfalls of current society, because we spend so much time focusing on like youth and the young people and making them famous. We sort of forget the older folks, and we forget how much we can learn from them just by listening to the stories they tell us.
Oh, yeah. It was great. I mean, and here's the twist of the movie is we don't ask them about the war at all. It's nothing about the war. It's like about the in-betweens, like the holidays, the love stories, the coming home stories, what it was like in between the war, and they kind of tell all these great stories, and they have like, I don't know, some of the best stories I heard were like coming home from the war, and this guy didn't have the right shoes on, and so he got thrown off all these trains and all that kind of stuff. Just like stuff like that, these cool things that you wouldn't think about to associate with that period.
That's awesome. So, but there is a little bit about the war in there? Because these patrol torpedo boat were they captains or they just? Because I know the boats are small. I mean.
Yeah, they were tiny mail boats originally, and that's why we chose this story. This is what's pretty special about it, is because World War II is kind of blanketed with all the the Flying Fortress and the atomic bomb stories and all that kind of stuff is stuff you hear all the time about World War II. So what happens is, and the quick version here is, after Pearl Harbor is attacked, we lose our entire fleet, by being destroyed. Now we're about to fight, for the first time ever, a low water fight in the islands of the Philippine Islands. We're a bi-coastal country, so we have these giant fleets. So now they need to develop a smaller, faster boat that only seats about 18 people to go up against these giant Japanese battleships in their area, right? And so they start mass producing these boats, and the yacht builders in New Orleans built them out of nowhere. At the same time, they start recruiting guys like John F. Kennedy, all these northeastern kind of well-off guys have been sailing boats around, and they kind of put them in charge of these boats, and they build the training base at the exact same time up in Rhode Island. That's where the reunion was in Rhode Island, for the last one. So this whole trifecta happens right as that thing takes place. The war is going on, and they kind of just go out and start fighting this war out of nowhere. It's pretty crazy.
That's amazing.
And that story wasn't told, and it's not very covered. And what happens by the end of history, the war lasts for 4 more years, the war ends, and then they destroy all the boats in the Philippine Islands. So you never hear this story ever again, basically.
Wow. So these tiny little boats that ended up really sort of turning the tide of the war just get forgotten.
Yeah, they get burned, basically, on the beaches of the Philippine Islands.
Wow. Chuck, did you ever play in one of those burned up boats when you were?
They're just out on the beaches and
on the Philippine Islands,
run around and remember.
I'm so mean. But Chuck, how much time have you spent in the Philippines in your life?
Probably cumulative, probably 3 or 4 months total.
All right.
Why? What were you thinking?
No, I don't know. I've imagined you vacationing there in the summers as a child and.
Went a couple times as a kid, but then it was closer to maybe 10 years ago when we started going back again.
All right, sorry.
It's not like a cheap flight from Cleveland to the Philippines every summer. It's not like driving down to Walt Disney World.
So I forgot. Well, oh yeah. So you've won a couple awards for this documentary, right? You've been shopping it around. So tell us about those.
Well, our first film festival we got into was in the Boston Film Festival, which was really cool because, like I said, a lot of people from the Northeast that were kind of in charge of these boats at the time. So there's a huge following up there. And I'm from New York, so it's pretty close for me. And we actually had the chance to have the whole film crew go out there and enjoy the first festival together. So and we won, I won Best New Director out there. So that was the first festival. Yeah, thanks. So that makes me legitimate now, winning an award. Well, you learn in film school that all you gotta do is win one award to be award winning. You know what I'm saying?
That's right. Exactly.
It's true.
So
I am an award-winning actor because I won the Lansing City Pulse Best Ensemble. Rob Hubbard, on the other hand, is still waiting for his award. Still waiting.
No, I think Rob
won. He's got Best Dad. Does that count?
Number one dad.
Number one pop.
I think Rob was in a movie that won Best Second-Year Film in film school, I think.
Oh, all right.
Award-winning actor.
Award-winning.
No, it was Best Production, too. That's what it was.
There you go. That counts.
He had a silent part in that movie.
So if people want to watch this documentary, are we able to yet, or is it?
No, you can't watch it yet. I mean, you can You can kind of email me privately through Facebook or through the website, and that's what I do for the veterans right now.
Okay.
I allow them to pick it up from me just through that way, and just for the ones that want to see it. I mean, it's not released yet. Some of the music that we cleared was only cleared for film festivals and things like that.
Okay.
Plus, too, we're still looking at other options with it, so maybe Netflix and things like that. So.
Yeah. Well, here's hoping. What can people do if they want to support the film?
If they want to support the film, they can just email me for a copy, and I can get it out there. I mean, at this point, the film's completed, so we're not looking for so much support as development or finishing funds, but they can just maybe ask for it and pass it on to some veterans that want to see it before they pass away.
Awesome. It's an incredible story, and I'm glad it's being told. Have you done any other documentaries? Is this sort of your first docu pick?
Yeah. This was the first one. I mean, I met a guy a couple of years ago that I thought I could hook up with that would be like help me out and get into documentary channel kind of stuff or like, National Geographic and things. And I get my resume and he was like, "Oh, we need some documentary experience." And so I ended up calling the film the film commission here, and I was like, "Hey, if any films pop up or if anything comes along, let me know. I'll do something for free just to get some experience." Mm-hmm. And that same like month, I think, I was at a wedding, sitting there minding my own business, and I'm sitting next to one of the PT boat veterans, right? And the guy's not saying a word to me, and he's just like basically ignoring me. And then his son comes over, and he's like, "Oh," he's like, "You do films?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, you gotta hear this story. It's amazing." And I've been looking for a documentary, so I'm like, "Okay, I'll listen to the guy's story." And so just from that one little like conversation, all of a sudden, like the next 3 years, we're kind of taken over by this documentary, pretty much.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Isn't that crazy? So
what else have you done? What other kind of films have you been working on?
Yeah, well, I like comedies. That's why I like watching you guys, screw around for a while there, and I felt bad.
I wouldn't consider that comedy per se.
Well, I mean, that's how I met Rob through making the Tooth Fairy Diaries. That was a fun movie.
That was a great movie.
So you guys saw that movie, right? You saw it?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Isn't that great when they start fighting each other and all that?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I was telling Rob I'm working on a brand new thing right now that I'm very, very excited about. This is a movie all about cats. I think it's going to be really special.
What? Can you talk about it?
Yeah, of course, we can talk. So what it is, it's like a children's animation, and after seeing Tooth Fairy Diaries, my kind of humor is like that really super dramatic, like dry kind of humor, right?
Yeah.
And what it is these cats live in this like fantasy world of happiness, and nothing could ever go wrong, and it's like the best world for a cat you could ever live in. And what it is all animals get adopted animal shelter, and so they live in the happiest life ever, except for one problem, is they don't understand what adoption means, and so sometimes their friends leave and never come back, and they don't understand why. So the whole movie is about how they're trying to figure out like how to get out of there, how to save themselves, and then basically it's like all about like misguided leadership. So it's pretty funny.
Oh,
cool.
That's like our podcast, Misguided Leadership.
Leader.
Well, and the best part is what I was telling Rob. So there's a character in the movie that we've been developing that is like so funny, and so these cats are basically planning this. Like it's been a year now. They're planning this big escape on Christmas Eve, is what it is, right?
Uh-huh.
And so it's like the film starts like 9 months into this plan, right? And about 3 months to go, all of a sudden all these new cats kind of come into the place, and they all think they're going with them on this escape, right? But they're not going with them. The core group doesn't want them to go, but they all think they're going to go together. Mm-hmm. And in that are all these like funny characters. And one of the characters is a dog cat. And the dog cat, they don't know what it is. They don't know if it's a dog or a cat. And it's kind of like Wolverine, like he has no memory of his past. And they're always like, "Hey, dog cat, where are you from?" He's like, "Oh, I have no memory of my past." And they don't know if it's a boy or a girl. He just don't know anything basically about it at all. Yeah, he doesn't know either. He has no idea, or she doesn't know. It doesn't know what it is. But in that, it's kind of like hidden messages about being an individual or standing out. It's always like fun little kid messages and stuff.
Oh, that's great.
Now that I'm having a kid now, so it's like all these kid stories are starting to think about.
Yeah.
Congratulations on the new baby.
Thanks.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Cool. But
Rob's recently had a new kid, and if you want advice for child rearing, you should not ask him.
Yeah. No. Well, what does he do to the kid?
It's more about what he doesn't do.
No.
No, we're kidding.
Good boy. He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
Pays his registration on time.
You're right. Pays his parking tickets.
LostReunions.com is the website. Yep. Right, Danny? And then
is there any other places we can go to check out
on
the
Facebook
projects you're working on now or anything like that?
No, that's all. Still, we're writing that stuff. There's just stories we're working on. There's nothing on the internet about that yet. I figured I'd tell you guys. You get the first sneak peek of the story.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. Well, we look forward to it.
Yeah.
So we can go to lostreunions.com and people can get a hold of you. You also they can check you out on Facebook.
Yeah, Lost Reunions documentary on Facebook or my Facebook, Danny Diaz. My company's modestmoose.net.
Modestmoose, that's right.
Yeah, so if you want to find me there, that's a little outdated. The Lost Reunions is the best way to find us right now. So.
Oh.
Okay.
Cool.
Well, thank you very much for telling these stories, and thanks for coming on our show and sharing your stories with us, man.
Sure. Thanks, guys. Yep. Take care.
Talk to you
Ladies and
soon.
gentlemen, Dany Diaz, Colorado filmmaker, on the show.
Post reunions. Awesome.
See what happens, Chuck?
You see, when
See what happens?
when you're a responsible young man
You listen to people,
and you listen
learn from your mistakes.
from your mistakes, and you don't repeat.
History. How many parking tickets in your life have you not paid, man?
Probably all of them. Until they, escalated to like a higher.
Until you have a warrant out for your arrest.
And you know what's funny is that the ones in Michigan, like I don't know if I remember this correctly or not, but like, isn't it when you get a ticket in Michigan, like it's seriously like, hey, dude, if you pay this like within the first 2 days, it's $7.
Right,
And
$5.
It's $2.
Yeah, 80 cents.
You can give me 80 cents right now, and you're in the clear.
Right.
And I would totally just be like, nah, fuck this. Toss
Yep. 48 hours later, it's $50.
9 months later, it's $7,500.
But I still beat you. I mean, I'm not doing it now where I'm a clear adult, like I'm getting my shit together, but I still got arrested for fishing without a license.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are your hosts for the podcast.
I
West
didn't pay a ticket. It turned into a warrant for my arrest. So you're lucky, my friend.
The only time I've seen Rob in the back of a cop car was when we would throw a party at our 508 Emmett house in college, and they'd be like, do you live in this house? And I'd be like, nope, he does. And then like Rob would get arrested. That was like the only time.
I can't believe he's still our friend. We have thrown this kid under the bus more than anyone else on the planet.
Yeah, but I don't think he hasn't gotten arrested or car impounds or anything for stupid shit, right, Rob?
No, Rob, you keep your shit together.
You're on the straight and narrow.
Well, he's not.
I am. Before, during those times when you kept throwing me under the bus, I had my own shit going on too.
Oh,
Right,
really?
Parking tickets and unpaid registration.
Yeah, I think there's a handful of you
college
that
kid
can't
stuff.
right that can't step foot back on your college campus because you'll get arrested for how many parking tickets you have. Well, so today this week's episode has been all about lessons.
Lessons
Learning
learned.
lessons.
Lessons and mindfulness and lessons in life.
Living
And
in
that's
the now, but remembering the past.
Remembering responsibilities that you might have. Don't get too present, okay, guy? Because you get too comfortable and you get all wrapped up in your fucking nonsense. Okay, anyway, so.
But you know what? Don't forget the future either, because we'll be back here next week.
That's right. Hopefully you will too. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/WestXMidwest. Subscribe, stream, download, write a review on iTunes. Check out our website, westxmidwestpodcast.com. You can find our Twitter, our email, past episodes on there, and Rob did a little Java work this weekend, and there's some cool stuff, so check that out.
Yeah, if you go to our website, there's a banner picture that changes when you refresh the page, or every time you click on, you'll get a new picture. Although I did it 3 times, and it just turned into a close-up of my eyeballs, and it stayed on that for 6 clicks.
Wow.
Rob, you didn't fix shit. You made our website scary.
It's
You got
like
googly, like a kid with some kind of like weird problem with his goiter.
You got a goiter between your eyes.
Isn't that what is that like when you have like that deficiency? Your eyeballs get all popped out.
That's not a goiter. A goiter is like a football.
No, the goiter's the thing on your neck, but it's the same.
coming out of your neck.
It's the same deficiency.
Oh, it is. So it's like
adrenal glands. I don't know.
Mars atmosphere face.
What am I? Yeah, it's the Arnold Schwarzenegger and Mars face.
Wow.
That's what I've got.
What was that, Chuck?
Yeah,
That's Arnold
him
on the surface of Mars. That's me tomorrow
It?
morning sitting at the DMV for 3 hours waiting to get my fucking
Get in your
registration.
car!
Wow. Wow.
Folks, don't forget a voicemail. 734-562-2385. Tell us about the time you didn't pay your parking tickets. Make Chuck feel a little better. He's not alone. We all make mistakes. Sometimes Chuck ignores his mistakes.
He who has not sinned.
Cast the first voicemail. Thank you very much for listening. We'll see you next week.
I'm Chuck Ganchorre.
I'm Aral Gribble. On behalf of Rob Hubbard, this has been
What?
My Midwest. We'll see you next week.
Cast the first